Welcome back. My name is Nikolai, and this is Transguy Reacts, where I react to women's basketball, professional and college. Today, I'm going to do a video about Lauren Betts and on Sometimes I Hoop with Haley Jones. Really interested to see what she has to say. She was formerly with Stanford, and then she transferred to UCLA. Both very, very strong Pac-12 teams. Pac-12 RIP. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what she has to say. I'm curious why she transferred, and yeah. And also, I don't remember if... Yeah, I think Haley and Lauren were on the same team. Yeah, they had to be because Haley's just finished her rookie year. So yeah, they definitely were on the same team together. So I'm curious what connection they have, and yeah, see how this goes. Let's get in it.
You get to Stanford. You were my freshman. What was your first impression of me? And I'll give you mine of you.
First off, you're the Haley Jones. So
Okay,
I was
no.
very into Haley.
No.
Haley. I was intimidated. When I first walked in the locker, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this girl's amazing. Like, she's insane. And you're just like, I think you're just so well spoken and you always know the right thing to say. And it was just so easy to like, look up to you for anything. And I still talk about you to this day. I'm like, Haley's like literally the most amazing person I've ever played
Haley's
with.
blushing.
We got waterworks over here.
Oh, stop. You're gonna... I was like, no, but seriously, I'm like, she's an amazing person. She's an amazing leader. Like, she's just 10 out of 10. So, yeah.
Aww.
You like...
That's so sweet. That's a high praise indeed. But I would say, yeah, Haley was cooking in college. She was really great at Stanford. I mean, that's why she got drafted to the Atlanta Dream. Also, Lauren Betts' voice. Whoa, I know I'm a little bit inappropriate to talk about, like, and some things like this, but goddamn, that voice is sexy as hell. But I digress. She's still, like, in college, so she's still kind of a kid. I should probably not say that, but her voice is nice.
Are one of the most hyped up teammates I've ever played with, which I love. Like, after every bucket, you're like, let's go. You're doing the whole thing. Welcome back to Sometimes I Hoop. A new college basketball season is off to a hot start, and we're back talking to some of the top players in the game about their careers and what this season may hold. Today, we've got a walking bucket on the pod. Quick humble brag, #1 recruit in the class of 2022, McDonald's All-American, double-double machine at UCLA, leading the country in field goal percentage at 74%. None other than my dear friend and former teammate, Miss Lauren Betts.
Aww.
Thanks for hopping on the pod.
Thanks for having me, hey.
So a little bit on your non-conference schedule. You guys had a tough schedule. It was not not a cakewalk. So what was kind of that big test that you guys have had that you feel has prepared you for the rest of the Pac-12 season?
Well, first off, we started with Princeton. Princeton is so underrated. They're good. They're so talented. All their guards are so skilled, and like their posts are pretty much like they can play from anywhere. So it was very difficult to guard them. But that was a really tough like first game to begin with. And then we had UConn, which obviously like everyone knows they're UConn. So that was just really tough. And they had like all their fans, like the entire gym was just all UConn fans. And then we had like a little UCLA section of like 3 or 4 parents.
Your little blue and gold.
That's not surprising. UConn comes out in force, and hey, it is what it is.
It was so sad. It was so sad. I'm so glad we won, but I was like, oh my gosh, like this is embarrassing. Like, what? Like there's no one here. But yeah, so that was a really big game for us. Ohio State was tough.
Tough team.
Because obviously like it was pretty much sold out. Like, we didn't play our best that game. So we really had to step it up in the fourth quarter and get our acts together, and thank God we won. But yeah,
they won the UConn game. They won this Ohio State game, and people sleeping on them. They don't think they're good. Oh, that's crazy. Y'all, they're about to go far in this tournament.
I think we had a really good non-conference schedule, and I think that ultimately like prepared us for what's coming up next. Because obviously, like going to Pac-12, every single game is just so tough. Like there's not an easy game whatsoever. So yeah, I'm really happy with our non-conference schedule, and I think that we'll do really well because of it. So.
Yeah. So I know USC was a big game for you guys that you probably had circled on the calendar for a minute. What's kind of that next big game that we're pushing towards? Is it a February 4th? Is it something else on your mind?
I mean, obviously that game is going to be like a really, that's going to be an intense game. But other than that one, Other than that game, I would say that week playing Colorado, Utah, that's going to be a pretty tough matchup. Listen, first off, we have the elevation. Like, I'm not going to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
My chest is going to be burning up. Like, you already know. Like, it's tough playing over there. But I mean, those are two like really good teams. I mean, Sherrod just went off for 34 against Utah. Like, she's tough. And then you got Peely on Utah. Like, it's going to be two back-to-back, like, very tough games. So I think that whole, week will be really difficult. But I'm excited. So that's what we prepare for. Yeah.
Our Pac-12, this is the last year of the Pac, which is crazy to think about.
Crazy.
An opinion that I have is, as every Pac-12 team disperses into all their different conferences, I feel like...
I'm going to double this up to 1.5 speed because, like, I can't. I know that some people can't do that, but I can't, like, listen to people on normal speed. It's too slow. So I gotta go faster.
The Pac-12 is so strong. The top teams in the Pac are going to go be the top teams at these other conferences. So, like...
1,000%.
Yeah,
1,000%.
like UNC in the Big Ten, done. And then Colorado and Utah in the Big 12, Stanford in the ACC, like, they're just going to be taking over these top spots. And then these other teams aren't going to know what to do because, for one, they don't even watch the Pac-12 network because it's regional. So, like, they're not going to know what to expect, just like what happens in the tournament every year.
First off, the Pac-12 is so underrated. Everyone knows that the Pac-12 is the best. Everybody knows. I mean, the real ones know, what the best conference is. But I just don't think that these people are ready. I mean, like, I 100% agree. I think that, all the conferences that we join, we're just going to take over. Like,
so true. Oh, thanks for Haley pointing that out. Like, Pac-12 is a superior league, but because of it's only shown regionally. It has a terrible broadcasting package. No one ever sees them play and don't understand. Like the analysts and the announcers for other leagues like SEC and ACC know this. They're aware of it, but the teams don't get it. And then when tournament time comes around, they're just like, oh yeah, whatever, this California team or this West Coast team, whatever, and they get their asses beat. And they're like, oh, what the fuck, like what? Because they didn't prepare. They didn't watch any of the games. They didn't watch any tape, no film or anything because they just didn't have access to it. And they're gonna be shocked. It's gonna be fun.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. It's, it's going to be interesting, but like, especially with all the travel and the school, I don't know how that's going to work. That's a whole nother situation.
That's for another time.
I know that's...
Can we talk about it now, though? The ridiculousness of all of these teams having to travel, and it's like, some of these teams are in the ACC who are on the West Coast. That doesn't make any sense. You're going to be on the Atlantic Conference? Atlantic what? It doesn't make... it's politics. It's all politics, but whatever. Hopefully... Pac-12 is treated correctly in terms of like flights and things like that and accommodations.
For another time, I'm not gonna worry about that right now, but I'm really excited. I think that it'll be really interesting just to like get a different taste of like what that conference is like. I feel like the Pac-12, like the type of basketball we play is just so different from everybody else's. Like I'm really interested to see, like we got a little taste of Ohio State, but like, yeah, it'll be really fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I think just on the Pac-12 disbanding, do you feel like, this conference tournament at the end of the season means that much more that it's going to be the last Pac-12 title for forever?
For sure. It's a huge deal. Like we've been talking about that. It's like, it's obviously it's like a Pac-12 tournament everybody wants to win, but it's the last one. Like it will go down in all of Pac-12 history. Listen, like we have to win. We have to win. So
spoiler alert, they didn't win. It was USC and Stanford USC won. And they didn't win with Juju Watkins got like 8 points or something like that. It was the whole team, okay? Ooh, and it was good. It was a good game.
It means a lot. But yeah, that's a topic that we've been talking about a lot on our team.
Yeah, it's really crazy to think about. Just it went Pac-12 to Pac-10, Pac-12, and now it's going to be literally gone, which is wild.
I know.
The teams that you've played, the film that you've watched, is there a specific player that you feel like is very underrated, like they don't get the hype that they deserve, somebody that really impressed you?
Peely because she had that big South Carolina game, which she should have been getting that, like...
Okay, we already knew.
We already knew how good Peely was, but it's like the world just finally figured it out. But everyone in the Pac-12 knows how good Peely is, and she's an amazing person, like, off the court as well.
Yes,
so I'm just really happy to see... I know, she's so sweet. So I'm, like, really happy that she's getting the recognition she deserves, because I'm like, where has it been? Like, everyone knew she could have gone off for 30. That's just the player she is. She's just so amazing. So, big fan of Peely. She's great.
Shout out Peely. We're fans.
Big fan.
We've already seen a lot of upsets happen this year. LSU losing their first game this season. The list just really goes on with unranked team beating top teams, just different sleeper teams coming around. Do you feel like there may be some top teams that are going to struggle in their conferences? Because we kind of see it every year where teams drop some games, this and that. So do you feel like there's going to be some top teams that end up struggling?
Haley, this is so controversial.
Lauren, we got to talk about it. I can start.
Okay, you start.
This is like...
She's like, start the drama, Lord. I'm like, no, Haley, you start it first.
No shade. This is just
okay.
It happened to us last year. Like, you go into some games and you're not completely prepared because you're like, oh, it's going to be a walk in the park. Oh, we beat them last time. I think last year when we went to Utah, we didn't approach it the same way we did the first time. So
I mean, that was also because Washington. We had gone in with like...
Yeah,
Washington
got us.
Washington. That was crazy. I forgot about that.
No excuse.
I forgot that we lost.
Yes, they got us. So I feel like every year, no matter how good the team is, there's gonna be some struggles in the season, and it's all about how you bounce back. So like the ACC, you think about the top dogs there, right? But then you think about some of the teams that may not always get the recognition. A team like Florida State, they could come up and surprise somebody like a Virginia Tech, like Notre Dame.
True.
The SEC, like Ole Miss, they got us. They could get somebody. You never know. You never know. I think there's always those teams.
Yeah. Sorry, just hit a soft spot.
Oh, you got some wounds that they're still dealing with from these past losses. That's hilarious.
That was really bad.
Bringing up trauma.
Like trauma.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of like what other teams in different conferences that could step up. I mean, Florida State, we could talk about them. I mean, they're tough.
Miss Latson?
Miss Latson. She's been on here before, right? She's
no, but
she hasn't. We need to get her. We need to get her. She is insane. She is insane. If you're listening. If you're listening, please come on this show. She is insane. She's so good. Like she just finishes like in the most like no shade, but she finishes in some awkward positions and like there's no way that this is going in. And she, I'm not gonna lie, she got one on me. She hit me in the chin, and I'm like I got a fat lip after the game. I had a fat lip after the game because I was like, dang, like I didn't. Like she is tough. She's really good. She can finish over everybody. Like she's not scared. She's like the most fearless guard I've ever played against. Like I'll be standing there and I'm just like, there's no way she's gonna go up. She goes up and I'm standing there 6'7". Like she does not care. I'm like, okay, sis, pop off. So yes, Florida State. I think they're gonna surprise some people. They're good.
Yeah,
they're very
I think so too. And then we talked a little bit about Peely, gave her her flowers, and a little bit about Sherrod. But just kind of diving more into that, I feel like not a lot of people recognize how talented some of the teams are in the Pac-12, specifically some of the top players. So I want you to give me a quick breakdown of how good some of these players are. You don't have to do it. I'll give you the top, some names here. So Miss Quay Miller, a bucket.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about Quay.
First off, shooter. You don't expect it, and then boom, she just like every time. I'm just like, and people won't guard her from the three sometimes, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm watching the game like
same as Frida. They'll leave her and Frida open. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Like, so yeah, I think they're just like unexpected shooters. Like they're just unbelievably talented, and they spread out the floor so well. Like, and it's just very hard to guard because like she can play from wherever on the floor. Like it doesn't matter. She'll post you up. She's strong. But she can shoot too. So it's just like, dang, like what are you supposed to do? So yeah, great player.
Okay, shout out Quay. Our next person is a little bit more about Peely. I think one thing that makes her so special is she's not the biggest, right? No. But somehow, similar to Miss Latson, she knows how to finish around like the tallest players, whether it's like she
practiced. She I swear to God, she must just work like that's all she does in her workouts. I swear. I'm like, her footwork is just like chef's kiss. Impeccable. Like I was there for the beginning of the South Carolina game, and I'm watching some of like I'm just looking at her feet. I'm like, how does she manage to like just move around like everybody? And she gets them like so deep underneath. I swear she just like shoves them, and there's nothing you can do. Like when she's got you like in the war zone, like there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Like she's scoring on you. So like she's tough and she's strong and she can shoot. People, again, one of those like little sharpshooters that you don't even think about. She'll get at the top of the key and it's over. Like she's making it. So it's just she's
what's crazy about her is like she's already down there and then all of a sudden now she's gonna bring up the floor and get an all-ball screen. It's like whoa,
you never know what she's gonna do.
Yeah, really it's very hard to guard. And then last player we'll talk about is Jalen Sherrod. Like I feel like she's really come into her own these last few seasons, which is so impressive to watch because obviously we know her speed and she can get to the rim. But I think her adding that like mid-range game and extending out to three, you can't go under anymore. That's what it used to be. Oh, go under and then get to her right hand. Now she's like, okay, boom, I need the right, left. Oh, behind the screen, pull up. There's so many different ways she can beat,
I'm just so happy I'm not a guard. Listen, if I had to pick that girl up full court, oh my gosh, it'd be over. Like I couldn't do it. She's just like the fastest person I've ever seen on the court. So props to her, but she's killing it. Like
she's pretty fast, but I think Malaysia Full Wiley is faster than her, and I would love to see, oh my God, Jalen and Malaysia go against each other. That'd be great.
Super happy for her. She's had a great game against Utah. But yeah, like you said, like she can shoot really well now. So it's like, I mean, she's been able to shoot, but like she's just so efficient now. It's like you have to, play over the top, and she's just, she's great. Super happy for her.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to skip around. Let's go a little bit further into this, and let's talk about Stanford, because I am curious what her feelings are about that.
So originally, out of high school, you ended up choosing Stanford. So what led to that decision?
It was my dream school. Like growing up, like I always wanted to go to Stanford. I had like a giant wall at my dad's house of like all the letters that they had ever sent me, like every single one, like all of Tara's letters that she ever sent me, like all my happy birthdays. I had them all pinned up on a wall. So like they were my favorite school. It was in California. I was like, there's nothing better than that. And like obviously academics, I was like, who wouldn't want to go to Stanford? Like it was the best. Yeah. So and obviously like, you were there. I had like all my Colorado girls, Fran was there, Jane was there at the time. Like it was great. Ash, it was, I just knew what I was getting into. Yeah. So I was very excited. Yeah.
Now you get to share your favorite story about us playing together, and then I'll share mine. Or do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
I have this is just because I saw this on your TikTok the other day, but.
Wait, is it the Arizona fall?
Yeah.
Or what do you
That or like, I'm trying to think, but like anytime you've fallen in practice or like,
what?
anytime you've like fallen and you ate, you know, like in practice, I was like, oh my gosh, like she's so clumsy, but like in the funniest possible way. Like, I was like, she's just like one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but she can't stay on her feet. She just falls over.
Like no other. Falling down.
Yes.
That's hilarious. I would agree. She does fall a lot, even in games. Haley be falling, but she all right.
But in like the Arizona game, when you know we were like, I remember I played a lot that game, and I was like so hyped, and you fell on the ground again, and I was like, oh gosh, Haley. And we rewatched it, and you texted me a screenshot of your face. your eyes popping out of your head.
Back into my head. It was horrible.
I was like, why does she look like that? It was so funny. But oh my gosh, when that showed up on my For You page when you posted it, it just gave me such funny memories. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that. It's so funny.
That one was good. That's a top one. I think for me, I really think about just. I guess it's in us playing together, but in the locker room, whenever I would play music and I would get you hyped up to start dancing, or I would play, what song? It's Me and You, and we would rap Flo Milli, Be Flo Mix.
Oh
that's my favorite memories because
I love that song.
Anytime we were on Aux to the party, we need to get it jumping. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then me and you duo, and we just started rapping the song. I think that's a classic.
They're so cute. I'm loving this vibing right now. I love when people are actually friends.
It's a classic. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I love that.
So we leave Stanford. You enter the transfer portal. Yeah. What led to that decision to, we don't have to get too into things, but kind of what led to that a little bit to go into the transfer portal?
It was tough. It was a very hard decision to make because I felt like I had gotten so close to all of you guys. And like to this day, I feel like that team, we're like so close and we're bonded for life. But it was a very tough decision to make. I think I just like, at the end of the day, I just wanted to be happy. And I think like my biggest thing is that I think my freshman year was so tough, but I just wanted to make sure I was in a good place for the rest of my 4 years. And I wanted to be supported at the end of the day. So I think that ultimately was the biggest thing for me leaving.
Yeah. The transfer portal, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about it because there's a lot of different stories of,
That's interesting. She's like, I want to be happy. It's hard. Like, Stanford's a hard school. And I can imagine, like, academically or even, like, just being with Tara demands a lot of her students, and she kind of wants perfection. And, she is the most winning coach of all time because of the way that she coaches. So I can imagine just, like, all of the things, not just her, just all of the factors. And if you're not happy, it's like, I gotta go.
Some people leave for playing time. Some people just want to hop around schools for different things.
Don't get me started.
But, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Well, they just let it just drop that. Obviously, it was playing time. She wasn't playing that much, which it happens. I mean, some there are better players on the team, and other people get more time, and or they just don't have room for you because the vision is different, or they want you to play later. Like you get all the experience now, but then like you actually get to play later in your life. So or later in your life, later in your career, maybe like your junior and senior year, you're playing more. But if you want to play immediately and make that impact, you might have to go to a different school, and that's a hard decision.
A big misconception is people don't take into account that you're people as well. And so there's a lot of different decisions. And I think also specific to Stanford, leaving is really hard, not only because of, basketball and whatnot, but you're giving up the degree, you're giving up the people that you've been with, you're giving up a lot. And so I think just to your own experience and talking to you about it as you went through it, it's a big decision to make. And it's a lot more into it. It's talking about, being happy, just a lot of different things. So I was really proud of you for prioritizing you and what you needed. And I know we talk about that a lot. So just another thing to say how amazing and strong you are to be able to do that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But now we're at UCLA, and I heard a story, and please correct me if this is misinformation, but Corey jumped into the pool after she heard you committed to UCLA.
She did. So we're like all at her house, and I'm like with my parents and everything, and I'm like sitting with the girls, and they're like, hey, like, Coach Corey said that she'd jump in the pool if you committed. And I was like, haha, like funny, like, okay, like I might actually commit, like, all right, okay. So my parents have to leave because they have to get to Sienna's tournament the next day, and so we're walking out, and I'm like, no, like I'm committing, like I want to do this, like I just, it felt right. So we're standing outside, and Coach Tony's about to leave too, and I was like, Coach Tony, like, could you step back in the house, please? And it was so awkward. He's standing there, and he's like, okay, like, all right.
Yeah.
So he walks back into the house, and then I'm like literally like tearing up. I'm like, oh God, I'm so nervous. Like, this is like the biggest decision ever. Like, all right, let's do it. So my parents start videotaping, and I walk into the house, and I like quietly say, I'm like, I'm committing. And Coach Corey's just like, no way. Like, are you serious? And all the girls like start coming up to me and like hugging me, and we're all jumping up and down. And it was like the cutest thing ever. And then immediately like, Corey, jump in the pool. Like, you have to get in the pool. And it was so funny. And she like, I still have the video. She's like, I'm only doing this for Lauren Betts. And she jumps in her full pink two-piece, her go-to with a visor.
Yes, the go-to look. A classic.
With the visor. Damn. All right.
The go-to with the messy bun, like, so she jumps in. It was the funniest thing ever, but it was such a good memory. It was so cute.
I love that so much because Corey's amazing, and I think
she is.
I think it's cool because for me, somebody who didn't go to UCLA, she's always been great to me. Like, oh, if you ever need anything, hit me up. Just like who she is as a person, she's amazing. And so I'm not surprised at all that she jumped in the pool. But I bet she was up in there. I bet she was looking forward to doing it, honestly.
She probably wanted to.
Exactly. She's like, guys, stop. And then like belly clapping or something crazy. My God.
Yeah, that sums her up.
Yes.
She's so cute. Yeah.
But so after you commit to UCLA, you have a pretty amazing summer where you end up trying out making the America team where you got to play with Charisma. So what was that like, getting to play against kind of the senior competition rather than the different Youth USA teams you'd been on before?
It was the biggest jump ever. And like, I had been warned before I joined, because even you were talking about it and you were like, yeah, like those are grown women. And I was like, no, like they're not that grown. I'm playing against a 40-something-year-old woman, all-star, children. She's got a family to take care of. WNBA all-star. I was like, there is no way. And the first little nudge she gave me, I was like, oh God, like tap me out. I was like, this is, so that was my first like, oh shoot, like this is really happening. But yeah, it was a really great experience. Like,
I love that she pointed out, I was like, I'm playing against grown-ass women, because, like, that's the thing that people don't understand about college. Like, you know, there's a lot of fans of college ball, and I love that, but there's only 144 spots in the WNBA. There'll be more now that they're expanding the league, but, and even that is not even 144. Sometimes there's a salary cap, so there's even less. So it is extremely hard to make a roster. And so the people who play in the WNBA are the best of the best of the best with honors, and they are grown-ass women, and they will fucking deck you. Not like literally, but yeah, they'll deck you if you're in the way. Like you playing with some real folks. So I'm glad she pointed that out. It's like, it's serious.
Charisma and I got super close throughout that entire experience. Like, we were roommates the entire time. Like, we didn't have to switch up or anything. So we got to like spend that entire time together, and it was just really nice getting to know her and like getting to know her on the court as well. Like, she's a really great, really great player, super like vocal. She's a great leader, like really easy to play with. So I was just really grateful for that whole experience. And I think it really like, I was more, I didn't want to do it, to be honest. Like, I remember my parents like literally forced me to go to that trial because I was like, I just need a break. I was like, I just need a break. But I'm really grateful that I went, though, because I think it prepared me for going into this preseason for UCLA. And it ultimately like gave me back my like confidence, I think, going into UCLA. So I'm just, I'm glad that my parents forced me to do it. Even though at the time, like I hated them. I was like, why are you making me do this? Like, I don't want to be here.
Well, I mean, I think USA definitely, I think it's amazing that it added to your confidence, because going to a new school is a lot. And so talking about that preseason, did you have a lot of nerves going in?
All right, I'm going to skip forward to NIL?
Okay, now moving into the NIL space. When did NIL get real for you? Because it came in at the end of your high school, didn't it?
It did. I think like my senior year, I was like first introduced. I had that commercial, which is really cool. So I did that, like that little ad. That was really cool. Like that was my first kind of experience in front of like cameras and like, script. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is kind of crazy. Like all these cameras in my face. Like, oh my gosh. But I think that was like my first kind of like, little intro to it. And then I think once I got to UCLA, obviously just being in LA, it's like absolutely crazy. There's just so many opportunities, and like Coach Corey's really good with like just getting our names out there and like networking all of that. Like she's great. Like she's the best at all of that. So I think she's been really helping me through all of that. And yeah, I think like, ever since I started obviously like playing well this sophomore year, a lot more opportunities have come obviously. So it's just, I'm still like kind of new to all of this, but it's been a really good experience. And I feel like I'm doing a really good job of balancing it. Like it hasn't been overwhelming, but obviously just being in LA, there's just so much to do out here. So it's been really cool just like experiencing all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to balance with school, social life, and basketball. It's a lot.
Well, I don't know how you did it senior year of college, because that was a lot. Oh my gosh.
It was a lot. But what do you feel like has been the best advice that you've gotten moving through the NIL space? Because it's a lot. Yeah.
I don't know, just staying where my feet are. Like, I just think that's just staying present and like, not comparing, because obviously like that's one thing, like if you compare your, experience with NIL to other people, I think that's just like setting you up for failure. So just being like appreciative for what I've received, and like my whole experience and journey through all of this has just made me like a lot more just content with where I am. Like, I just don't have to compare my experiences to anybody else's. And so I think that would be the best.
Yeah, that's good. Because especially with social media, it can get easy to do that.
Yes, like you can easily compare. Yes.
Yeah. And then what's been your biggest non-negotiable when you move into working with brands? Like, oh, I'm not into that. Oh, I don't want to work with this brand. How do you kind of navigate who you want to work with?
This is kind of funny, but one, I would say with like photo shoots, right? My mother. If the photo shoot is, if it's a little too, a little too grown for me, it's not happening. It's not happening. Oh my gosh, no, because I don't want to. No, Michelle Betts is not having it. Absolutely not. No, so that's mine. That's mine.
Okay, that's good. That's a good one.
Adult.
Okay, so now
that's funny. Yeah, because and rightfully so, because like you're literally you're still I want to call you a child. You're a teenager. You're young. Like you're a kid. You shouldn't be doing things that are adult yet. You still need to mature a little bit more. And like when you want to do adult things, maybe once you get out of college, then yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're headed into our last section. It's going to be rapid fire. Rapid fire as best as you can. Okay. Like I believe in you. You're going to do great.
I've seen this, and Fran took forever with hers.
Fran sucks. So do better than Fran.
Okay.
Fran, if you're listening, you were horrible.
Yeah, you're terrible.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
All right.
What's the drill you never want to see on the practice plan?
Oh my gosh, full court closeouts. Oh my gosh, absolutely not.
God,
The sprint to the slides, to the sprint, to the slides, to the back pedal, none of that. I hate it.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. Game-winning shot or game-winning block?
Game-winning block.
I was going to say, you love a block.
Yeah, I love a good block. Love a good block.
Okay. And one or three-pointer?
Three-pointer.
That's what I'm thinking.
Let's go.
A shooter.
A pure shooter. Yeah.
Yes. What's off the court your go-to sneaker or shoe? Because I know you like a heel or a boot.
I do love a good boot. Okay, so it depends, because if I'm like with my little like streetwear, love a good Jordan 1s, like, or if I'm feeling girly, I'll wear like my little leather boots moment. Like, it depends on the vibe.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. A group TikTok or a solo TikTok?
Solo.
Oh, okay. Where's the toughest place to play on the road?
Oh, okay. Well, Arizona was tough. Even though we won, it was loud. And those fans, man, there's something else. That was tough. Yeah, that was tough.
Arizona's good. Okay, who's the biggest trash talker?
Girl, I would.
She's like so scared to say.
I would have to say, honestly, I'm just gonna say on my team, Angela Zugalich. She's a trash talker. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Listen, you do not want to get on her bad side.
She's so nice. From all my interactions, she's so nice. But does she flip a switch?
Oh my gosh, that switch is scary. You do not want to mess
with her. Okay, Angela. Okay.
Angela.
Hardest player to guard?
I mean, probably Peely, if anything. Obviously I didn't really get to play against her, but from watching, I can imagine. She's tough. Yeah, she's tough.
Okay. This will make me chuckle. Biggest flopper?
Girl.
You can say on your team.
Oh, okay. This is funny. Biggest flopper, probably. I mean, we don't really have any floppers because I think that's personally like, come on now. Like,
stop it.